Well, you know how bullies usually find out you're queer before you find out yourself, and you could say thank you for affirming, if in a very sarcastic way. That was more or less childhood. Lots of bullies like that, and there's a reason why you cannot pay me enough to come back to any reunion from before college. But I will say that for me, Puerto Rico is kind of home in a way because I even started my queer activism there to a large extent, working in like student government at the University of Puerto Rico. When I was studying, like I became obsessed with sexuality. I had already come out and transitioned in my as a teenager, like around 18, 17, 18. So at UPR, I was already like the first openly trans person in student government at the time of the Great Strike of 2010, which was la huelga del 2010. And honestly, that was one of those experiences that I hope never to repeat that level of stress again, but I'm still intensely proud of him, basically, if that makes sense. I would say the internet. I was a child with all sorts of unsupervised internet access in the very early 2000s. So when you start AltaVistaing and MSN search, before Google was popular, on Yahoo search, looking up how you feel about it and starting to get involved with other people back when listservs and were something that young people used. I was in a trans youth listserv where I met one of my partners later on in life, and we still are very, very close friends to this day, like family. And like already all my teenage years, I already, while still kind of in the closet, was already having that life on the internet of I'm trans, looking up stuff, reading it, and so on. This like the early 2000s when AIM and MSN Messenger were still, you know, all the rage. Wow. Just feminizing the old name, you know. I liked the old name but couldn't keep it, so I rolled with it. The bigger issue was picking a second name, a middle name, and it was fairly quick since I just kept thinking, what rhymes that isn't like Christian bullshit like Maria or whatnot, and it just came to my mind Minerva, because I wanted something that worked in both English and Spanish. I'm not gonna go for the Trevor Project cliche if it gets better, since, you know, sometimes it gets better faster, sometimes it doesn't, and so on. But I think my biggest advice would be stay alive and focus on getting there. Make whatever plans you need, focus on getting there, and above all, stay alive. I sometimes say rule number 1, don't die. Rule number 2, everything else, yes. I would also say, like, don't be afraid of going through mental health land. Like, as someone who also has bipolar disorder and takes a whole host of medications all out there that I have in my desk, I would say don't be afraid to try to find trans-affirming healthcare and mental health care and deal with all your trauma, because in a way, being queer is inherently traumatic in our society. Like, there's almost no way to be trans and not come out with some PTSD. So I would say work on that. Don't be afraid to do so. Introspection is hard, best done alone, but you should do it.